Imagine that you're given an assignment that you didn't prepare for at all. Odds are your finished product isn't going to be very good. Something very similar has gone on in Major League Baseball for decades, and it's more relevant now than ever. Major League Baseball is divided into two leagues. You have the National League and the American League. The difference between the two leagues is that the designated hitter, or the DH, is in the American League and not the National League. The designated hitter is someone who doesn't play in the field but hits in the batting order in place of the pitcher. But in the National League, the pitcher hits for himself. Now, as a baseball player myself and an avid fan, the dispute over the DH is something that I'm very involved in and passionate about. Major League Baseball should implement the universal designated hitter to increase the quality of play, increase the competition, and it just makes sense, and I'll get to that later. I'll begin with the improvement of the game itself. Adding the DH to the National League will allow the game to be played more smoothly and improve the quality of the game itself. When fans attend games, they're expecting to see the best players in the world compete, the best pitchers in the world versus the best hitters in the world. In the American League, this is true. However, in the National League, this isn't the case. Out of the 9 positions in the lineup, a National League pitcher faces 8 hitters and the other team's pitcher. Many of you may be wondering what's wrong with a pitcher hitting. Well, the biggest issue with this is that pitchers almost never work on or practice their hitting at all. I mean, on the day that they play, they may get some batting practice, but other than that, that's it. And if you never work on something, how can you expect to be any good at it? And that's right. You're not, especially at the professional level. If you've ever seen an MLB game and watched pitchers hit, the majority of the time it's pretty pathetic. According to Ben Fredrickson of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and I quote, NL pitchers struck out 2,056 times last season, 2019, and that number of strikeouts grows each year, end quote. Not only does the DH increase the quality of the game, it also ups the competition within the game. With an extra hitter in the lineup, the game instantly becomes more competitive. Bleacher Report says that, I quote, pitchers end up being near an automatic out in the game. And I quote, how competitive can an automatic out be in baseball? Exactly. It's not. Not only does the pitcher hitting make the game less competitive, it makes the game less interesting. Bleacher Report also says that the lack of hitting by the pitchers, and I quote, ends countless rallies, thereby taking away excitement from the game, end quote. Not only do fans want the game to be more explosive and excited, but hitters and pitchers alike share that same feeling. Not only does pitcher hitting take away from the excitement of the game, it takes a lot from the game itself, honestly. And then finally, the DH should be in both leagues because it just makes sense to do so. First off, the World Series. The World Series is played between the best National League team and the best American League team. Whichever team is the home team, they play by that league's rules, meaning that when playing at a National League park, there is no DH for either team. Since the American League has had a DH all year, how is it fair for that to just be taken away from them in the most important games of the season? I mean, you make it all the way to the championship all year, you've been really good, and then you lose a bat. You lose a hitter, a professional hitter, to a pitcher who hasn't hit all year. That doesn't make any sense. It's just not fair. And why would they do that? I don't know. Secondly, according to Baseball Almanac, the AL, American League, has beaten the NL in league-wide batting average since the establishment of the DH in the AL in 1973. So it makes sense statistically. If one league has beaten the other in batting average for 40 years, 40 plus years, it only makes sense to level the playing field. It's just not fair. You may not think that one hitter makes a difference, but to anybody that knows baseball, one hitter can make or break the game, for sure. And then lastly, the players, the front office, and a lot of fans want the DH anyway. From the players' perspective, the DH gives them an opportunity to, and I quote, prolong their careers and inflate their checking accounts, and I quote. From the front office perspective, general managers don't have to worry about their, and I quote, pitchers getting hurt at the plate or on the base pass, end quote. And from the fans' perspective, the DH provides more offense, which fans crave. Everybody loves to score. Everybody loves to see scoring. No matter what sport it is, baseball, football, basketball, everybody loves offense for the most part. That's a pretty good assumption. And then after all that, what reason is there for not having the DH in both leagues? With all that being said, it seems like a no-brainer to add the DH to the National League. But there are those who oppose, the traditionalists. To them, many traditionalists feel that the DH takes away from the integrity and the strategy of the game. They think that small ball will virtually be eliminated from the game if the DH is added. Although they do have a point there, the era of small ball, of just bunting and moving runners, is pretty much over in the big leagues. In today's game, the focus is on power pitching and power hitting. Perhaps the biggest reason for the DH in both leagues is the fact that the game has just changed. It's not the same as it was, honestly, 20 years ago, maybe not even 10 years ago. You want more home runs, more velocity. That's what the players get paid to do. And then baseball and life have many similarities, but one of those similarities is that things change. In order to handle the change, we must adapt and change with it. Thank you.